You can call in that energy for yourself. You can call it in for others. So, for example, you could work with the 10th ray and the ray of the Maitreya and work with creating that divine order in your life. Yeah, you can decide that you're going to work with this energy to reset your life to divine order.
Today's guest is Angela Orora Medway-Smith, a practical mystic, a Welsh spiritual channel and teacher, master healer, coach, and retreat leader. Her business is called Cariad Spiritual, and she works both in person and online, spreading the light at workshops, festivals, retreats all over the world. Welcome, Angela.
Hi, Anita. It's really good to be here.
I'm really excited to see what we uncover today in our conversation.
Yes. Well, when we chatted beforehand, there's so much that we can talk about.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what is one of the most courageous things that you have done? I'm sure there's many, if you can possibly pick one.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, there's lots in my long life. Okay, so the one I'm going to choose to talk about today is allowing my 11-year-old daughter to get on a bus to Paris with her school 2 days after she came out of intensive care.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah. She's a type 1 diabetic, and a few days earlier she'd had as many type 1 diabetic children do, she'd had an episode of ketoacidosis, which means that she was really quite close to death. She was in intensive care for a week. While she was in there, I called in the angels and I called in the energies of the divine rays that to support me, that I work with all the time, managed to hold it together and allow her to get on a bus to Paris. Every other parent standing there was crying their eyes out, and I just had to hold it. It was really, really hard. I wrote about the experience in one of my books. It's called Strong Mothers, published by Brave Healer Productions back in January 22. But the main energy that I use to help me get through this is the energy of the violet flame, which is one of the most powerful esoteric energies that we have available to us, and anybody can tap into this for themselves to help them get through difficult problems.
Gosh, yeah, that is courageous. Gosh, yeah, definitely. I can understand why the other parents were crying their eyes out.
Well, I couldn't let her see me cry because
Yes, absolutely.
I couldn't let her see me cry because it would have been more difficult for her,
Absolutely. You've got to be
Yeah,
brave as parents.
yeah.
We do have to be brave. So what got you started on your psychic path?
Oh my, that's another long story. I've always been able to see spirit, and I've always been able to sense. And back when I was 19, I moved up to London, and a couple of years later, I was led to a wonderful teacher and mentor, a lady called Betty Bolcom, and then spent 7 years in circle with her, developing and helping reawaken all of these skills that I'd built up in different incarnations. Because whereas the human that's here now has a spirit residing in it that has many incarnations, and we have access to all of this wisdom, and we have access to all of this information if we can relearn it and tap back into it. And working with Betty helped me do that. I then went on to teach intuitive development for the first time using Betty's course back in 1990, so still 30 years ago. And then my life took a different path. I met my husband, raised my family, did real jobs for a long time. And then, 7 years ago, I came back to this work, and I've been, it's amazing.
Mm.
I've published 6 books now. I've
Oh,
been
wow.
taught all over the world. I run retreats online
Hmm.
stuff, and I've got hundreds of students, and I've had thousands of clients over the years.
It's brilliant because, yeah, we'll be
Yeah.
talking about your books in a little while. So I'm excited for that. So, what are some misconceptions about going to a psychic or, being a psychic? Unpack that a little bit.
Okay. So people get really confused.
Mm.
We can all tap into our intuition, our
Hmm.
psychic ability. But there are some people who are also mediums, and a
Hmm.
medium is somebody who can connect with discarnate beings, so people without bodies. So whether they're the dearly departed, whether these are angels or ascended masters or galactic beings,
Hmm.
there are different people can talk to different energies, if you
Hmm.
like.
Hmm.
So being psychic is one thing, being a medium is something else. So I'm a psychic medium, but I'm
Hmm.
also a channel. I mean, every medium is a channel,
Hmm.
whether that's for healing or whether it's for messages. But I'm a trance channel, a light trance channel, which
Okay.
means that I can move my consciousness to one side and allow my body to be used to speak through.
Oh, wow.
Kind of like Abraham Hicks. I don't know if the listeners have heard about
Hmm.
Abraham Hicks, but my deal is Abraham Hicks walks around and absolutely, takes over the medium completely. My
Hmm.
deal is that I only allow to the waist, and they can move my arms and use my voice, but
Hmm.
I've got control, and I didn't want to let go control completely. And you have that choice, you
Hmm.
can set your own boundaries when you work with spirit. So those were my boundaries, if you like.
Oh, brilliant. So are spirit guides and angels, are they the same thing or are they different? Because
They
you've just
yeah, they're different. Yeah.
okay.
So there are angelic beings who have never had human lives.
Mm-hmm.
They're completely different energy beings to human souls. And then there are those spirits or those souls who
Hmm.
have had human incarnations, who then decide, oh, for my next job, this is what I'd like to do. And
Hmm.
then they can join as spirit guides and then choose somebody that they would like to guide. Now, there are different types of spirit guides as well. So we've got the doorkeeper,
Okay.
which is the spirit guide that's with you the whole of your life, will always be with you. And that, you make that contract before you come. But you also have a guardian angel who is with you in every incarnation, which is a different subject altogether.
Hmm.
But then you have spirit guides who come in and they help you
Hmm.
when you're learning different tasks or doing different jobs. So I've had many different guides over the years, and some of them step forward to help me with my psychic development and working one-to-one, giving spiritual messages to people. And then I've got a different team who work with me for healing, because I teach lots of different healing modalities as well. I first
Okay.
trained in spiritual healing back in 1985 and teach
Mm-hmm.
lots of different things now. And I've
Mm-hmm.
even channeled a healing modality as well, which is another
Wow.
story. And then there are, I've got another guide team then who work with me for the what is the main element of my work at the moment, which is teaching people about the divine rays and the sacred flames. I talked about the violet flame earlier on, that we've got access to so many different frequencies and so many different
Hmm.
energies. So
Yes.
there's a team that work with me for that, and including ascended masters and archangels, and I channel them as well. The books that I've written, or a
Yes.
couple of the books that I've written, have channeled messages in them. from the Ascended Masters, Archangels, and Archangelic collectives as well. It's a big subject.
So tell me about the channel books. What are Divine Rays and Sacred Flames?
Okay, so I've written 2 books on this
Mm-hmm.
subject. So the Book of Many Colours introduces you to the Divine Rays. So the Divine Rays are the different frequencies
Mm-hmm.
that shine down on the planet from the divine that we can tap into for different things, different reasons. Now, if you can imagine that, every school child knows that when you refract light through a crystal, or through a prism, it comes out as a rainbow. So if you
Yes.
imagine the colours of the rainbow, originally, back in Victorian times, there was a channel called Helena Blavatsky,
Mm-hmm.
and she was informed that we had 12 sacred rays, and there were several more channels in the 20th century who carried on with this information, because back in the 20th century, this is all we had available to us, because of the way the planet and the way the people were vibrating, if you like, because everything vibrates. Every cell
Mm-hmm.
in our body vibrates. But since 2012, there's been a big shift, and we've had
Yes.
access to many, many more frequencies. And I've
Mm-hmm.
written about 28 of them. So we've got 28 of these frequencies that are available to us. So the rays are the coloured light that shines down on us that we can call in, if you like. And the sacred flames are the esoteric principles, that's a really big word, that drive these. So it's the fire behind the light, if you like. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the flames are the power, and the light is that sort of the frequency that comes from that, if you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I talked a little bit earlier about the violet flame, and the violet flame is an incredible energy for transmuting negativity. So for clearing anything that doesn't belong to you,
Mm-hmm.
anything. It's absolutely fantastic. Since the Victorian times, we've known about this. Before
Okay.
that, this information was held by, very secret societies and sort of magicians and people like that who didn't want anybody else to know about it. But
Okay.
the
Yes.
public have got to know about this now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been popularized by lots of different people. So people like Helena Blavatsky, people like Alice Bailey in the 1930s, Godfrey Ray King after Alice Bailey, and Elizabeth Clare Prophet and Mark Prophet in the 60s.
Okay.
But there have been lots of things that have
Mm-hmm.
changed since then. So if you look back at the old information, you'll see, information on the 12 rays, but now we have more. And that's what the masters want people to know about. And that's what my job seems to be. As I'm
That's
spirit
brilliant.
led, yeah, I'm divinely led. They basically tell me what to do. And sometimes I argue, and most of the time I don't, because it's a bit of a waste of time.
I can imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, how can the listeners benefit from tuning into the divine rays?
There are so many different ones that you can
Mm-hmm.
work with in meditation, in prayer, in invocation. So I've talked about the violet flame,
Mm-hmm.
and that energy is, so you can call on Saint Germain or Saint Germain, and he's the patron of this energy, and you can call on him and use this as a daily tool, if you like, to reset your energy and transmute any negativity. One of my favourites is the 6th ray. Now, the 6th divine ray is the ray of nurture,
Mm-hmm.
and it's overseen by the Ascended Master Mother Mary, Mother of Jesus, and this ray actually feels like a touch from the angels. It's absolutely beautiful energy to be bathed in. So what I'm going to do is I'll just use the cards, and
Okay.
I'll see what. So I have created these Divine Ray Oracle and Affirmation cards.
Oh, that's
So
brilliant. You
yeah.
created them. Yeah.
Well, they were an accidental oracle. Actually, there's a
Oh,
story. There's a story to these. There's
yeah.
a gorgeous, gorgeous collaborator of mine, who his name's Kieran Morgan, and he's
Mm-hmm.
Brother of Dragons, and he was doing the illustrations in black and white for my books.
Okay.
And I asked him I said, "Oh, would you mind doing them in colour?
Oh,
Because
lovely.
I'll be doing some oracle cards." And literally in 48 hours, he'd created these cards and said,
Wow.
"What do these look like?" And really, it was like, "Oh, I didn't plan to do this for another year." But here you go. Well, we might as well do it now. So
Right.
yeah, so I'll just shuffle the cards, and I'll just see what comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, interesting. I was thinking about this energy in the shower this morning, so I'm going to use my book. I'll show the readers the card. Readers. I'm so used to writing books that I say readers. So I'll show the listeners the card first. So this is here we go.
Yes.
The ray of, this is the 10th ray.
Okay.
It's the ray of the Divine Father.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Maitreya or the Christ energy, and it's got an affirmation that comes with it. These are all channeled affirmations. They were given by the individuals in question, which is "I am divine order." So I'm going to just use the book now, and I'll look up and find out a little bit more information rather than just giving you the stuff in my head. I'll give it to you from the book.
Okay.
So this is what the Cosmic Ascended Master Maitreya said about this energy rather than what my take on it was. So when you place yourself in the energy of this divine ray, when you invoke this sacred flame, you are at a soul level requesting that your life be aligned to the divine plan. Be ready for a shift in consciousness, in your life in general, and in how the world perceives you. Working with this energy is not for the faint-hearted. However, should you invoke this energy for the self, with the acknowledgement that your services are for the highest good of all, then it will be so, and great riches await.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big message, isn't it?
That's beautiful. So I hope the listeners take that on board. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Well,
That's,
I didn't choose it. This
yeah.
is, Spirit chose this card, so.
For all us listeners, we clearly need that card. Take it on board.
Well, working with the affirmation is really powerful. So I
Mm-hmm.
am divine order. So the words "I am" are powerful
Yeah,
themselves, but
absolutely.
actually it's about a complete reset back to
Mm-hmm.
what your soul had planned for you in this life.
Oh, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Angela. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In the book of Many Flames, you introduce people to channeling healing energy from the sacred flames. Can anybody do this?
Yeah, absolutely. You don't have to have any special attunements. You don't have to have any experience as an energy healer. You can
Mm-hmm.
basically, and this is what Saint Germain wanted, you can basically pick this book up because it teaches you spiritual protection, it teaches you how to work with intention, and there's an invocation for every one of the sacred flames. So you can call in that energy for yourself, you can call it in for others. So for example, you could work with the 10th ray and the ray of the Maitreya and work with creating that divine order in your life. Yeah, you can decide that you're going to work with this energy to reset your life to divine order. Or, I mean, it depends what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
because each of the energies, each of the flames and the sacred flames and the divine rays have different energies. So you could work, for example, so I've done a bit of bibliomancy now, which means opening a book up and working out, right, okay, that's what they want me to talk about next or
Oh,
work with
okay.
next. the flame of cosmic love, and the 66th ray, which is the ray of unconditional love. So you can work with this and the energy of compassion, mercy, love, and empathy, and the way of the wisdom of the Divine Mother. So you can do that to invoke love in yourself, awaking the higher heart chakra is dormant for many. I don't know. I hope the listeners know what I'm talking about when I talk about chakras or energy.
Yes, I'm sure.
Energy centers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, once awakened, the true essence of the soul will shine. That's what the Archangel Haniel talks about in the book. So there's lots of, you can use the book to find out what energy do I need today. Or you can use the cards for it, or you can just basically ask. It depends on your connection really to you, and how clear that connection is to your guides and your higher self.
Oh, it's brilliant, Angela. Thank you for that. Angela, tell me about your new book, The Energy Healer's Oracle, Tools for Total Transformation, which is due out in publication in June.
Oh, thanks, Anita. And I'm beyond excited about this book. This is the book, and it's another one. It's another project from the Ascended Master Saint Germain. This is like, you will do this. So I've gathered 20 different master healers from all around the planet, and each of them is talking about a different healing frequency. So these are different healing frequencies now to the sacred flames. And actually, the healing frequency I talk about is talking about two of the sacred flames and a modality that I channeled called Divine Feminine Reiki. But the Energy Healers Oracle has the beautiful thing about this book and the other books that I've published with Brave Healer Productions is that you are given a story and a way to connect to the modality and to, the person, the author, the master healer, and each of them gives you a tool. So you get access to 20 different tools from 20 different master healers.
Wow.
It's incredible. So they're giving away, some of them are giving away meditations, others are giving away scripts to follow, others are giving away little classes and giveaways on their website. So you buy a book and it's phenomenal. The way that Brave Healer Productions organises the books is phenomenal, and I'm so excited to work with them.
That's
and
brilliant.
One of the I know, I'm just so excited. And I don't know if the listeners know or have heard about Kyle Gray. He's an author for Hay House. So
yes,
I
follow him.
Yeah, I commissioned the lady who does Kyle Gray's oracle cards to create a cover for the book for us. So Jenny Hawkyard is a phenomenal artist, and she works with she's a direct channel with spirit as well. And she's created this absolutely beautiful cover for us that represents how we are all connected, and how by working on ourselves and the way we respond to the challenges that we're faced and the life that we live, how everything is connected and how we all lift each other up, all in one picture. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
I'm sure. I'd look forward to seeing that. Absolutely sounds beautiful.
So it's due to be published in June. And, if the listeners want to find out more about it, then they can just head over to my website, sign up for my newsletter, and they'll get to hear about it first then.
Oh, that's brilliant. So what resources do you recommend, tools, daily tips to anyone that wants to tap into more of a spiritual life or enhance it? How, if they already have tapped into it, how can they enhance that?
Okay. So it's really important to have a daily practice. I can't stress that enough. The daily practice needs to be, it needs to do two things. It needs to set your intention for the day and to deal with anything that has come up in previous days. So it's just, so for example, I've got a free resource on my website called the Rainbow Waterfall, because I believe it's really important for people to look after their energetic body. And the Rainbow Waterfall is just a visualization that you can follow. And once you've done it a couple of times, you can actually do it in 2 minutes. It's really, I've been doing it for like 40 years and developed it and tweaked it. When you have a really busy life, really stressful life, and you're in a stressful situation, you can literally say, excuse me, pop off to the loo, invoke the Rainbow Waterfall, and come back and you're reset.
Brilliant.
It's fabulous. If you start your day with it, you can use it at any time of the day. But if you use it as a general practice, then it's incredible. And I've always felt that everybody should have access to this, so I give it away free on my website.
That's brilliant, Angela. So where can the listeners find you online, your books? What's your website?
So my website is Cariad Spiritual.com, and all the resources are in the shop. So Cariad's a Welsh word. It means sweetheart or darling. You can tell I'm Welsh, yeah. I actually live in London at the moment. I called my business Cariad Spiritual, but I call everybody Cariad. It's because it's the way I approach my life. I approach it with an open heart. And because, if you don't get you're not able to live this life properly, then there may be ups and downs and you've got a bruised, battered heart. But looking after yourself then is the next step, isn't it? But being open, you actually receive more from life, if you like.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Thank you for sharing your deep, insightful wisdom and knowledge with us today, Angela Orora Medway-Smith.
Thanks, Anita. It's been really lovely to chat. I could chat to you for hours.
Yes, thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure and very informative. So we are all about Create the Courage to Be Fearless podcast here. What is your definition of courage?
Stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that you're afraid of, that raises that element of uncertainty.